go back to when I was 11. Football coach, black football coach, was molesting kids, and he tried to molest me, so I stabbed him. Sometimes we get so fed up that we're consumed with so much rage and vengeance that we end up destroying ourselves, like I almost did. But instead, I took the same pain that was gained through what some people call trauma, but I pronounce it school, and I turned it into spinach so my past and my present could walk right past death, which created a whole new timeline with a version of myself that had a higher awareness of life. Even though my soul was so tired and thought it was time for us to go, my vibration was way too strong to go anywhere because I had unfinished business. I couldn't say anything then because they had control and they turned my voice down. So the people that were passing me by, they couldn't hear what was happening to me. And my family, who also were unaware that people were getting taken from us and they weren't just dying. Even the people closest to me, they couldn't read my body language. I had to be quiet before and come up with some type of plan, but for a decade and a half now, I've been giving you obvious hints, along with leaving messages in my music since 2007, at least to prove to everyone that what I'm about to say next was true, just by being this patient. So please, accept my apology in advance because I'm about to be very loud, metaphorically speaking. And at first, it's going to sound unbelievable, literally, because it's something that you've never heard said before. You've never heard words put in this order to form sentences saying things that your ears have never experienced. You're going to assume that I'm doing this for attention, or for money, or pity, or out of boredom, for clout, or it's my mental health, or drugs, or a political or religious reason, self-serving purposes, or just for no reason at all. It's your attention. And when I get it, then I can lower my voice and hear yours, your questions, your opinions, your answers. All right, here we go. Try not to cover your ears. My mom was purposely raped and impregnated to give birth to a white and black baby to carry out a plan that a hate group, or should I say hates everybody group, was founded in New Hampshire in the midst of the reverse freedom rides and has been operating and flying under the radar for at least 62 years, which doesn't mean that this state did this. It was created by some, not all of the people that were living here in 1962 that didn't like what New Hampshire did to help my family and the 29 other families that was sent here to New Hampshire. Me and my kids are the last descendants of what I call the revenge rides that still live in New Hampshire. I'm the survivor of the longest case of systematic racial torture, multiple civil rights violations, and hate crimes committed by one group solely responsible for the 14 deaths of my immediate family and loved ones and rape of a minor that wasn't authorized by the government, just to name a few, that lasted for 48 years. And I beat them. Now I realize I wasn't only the victim, but I was the villain and the hero.
Make me into an angel, take your life and change you. I'm not trying to rearrange you. God's the one that made you. I know this life is painful. You gotta fight with all your might, dealing with these strangers. Life is full of cages. This book is full of pages, and this game is full of stages. Unlearn this shit and start making changes. My father raped my mother and left her in the gutter. I wanna hear you stutter before I kill you, motherfucker. You can die slow while I blow dro. What the fuck am I fighting for? Only God knows. It keeps me on my toes. Change your cosmic clothes.
Had a Negro friend or a Negro maid or somebody in high school, but they never, or rarely, after school was over or whatever, came to my kitchen. We were segregated from the schoolhouse door. Therefore, he doesn't know.
Shut up, bitch. Bitch.
Southern segregationists hatched this plan to be cruel, for certain.
The NAACP, Urban League, and people like that especially, they have been crying the sing-song in behalf of the Negroes throughout the nation.
That was George Singleman, reverse freedom rides organizer, sending people of color fleeing political and economic turmoil to the North to stick it to progressive policies.
She was taken by two white supremacists and placed on a freedom train from New Orleans to Nashua, New Hampshire.
Started my husband.
Programming a black and white kid right from birth to influence the public, both races, through music. Well, hell yeah, that sounds nuts. What the fuck? But since it's not the government or a politician or a law enforcement agency or it's not a secret society, it's not a hate group, it's not the entertainment industry.
Okay, so then they came after me. They said I only have like 30 minutes to get all my things. They came back and they took me to the train station, of which I was met by supremacists. It was a gang of them, but 2 of them hopped the train with me.
My mind is sitting here from the
Crazy. You don't think I know how crazy I sound? Talk about some hidden group that killed 14, maybe even more. I can't tell if the death's related, but at least 14 of my family members and loved ones. And for the record, this is not to feel sorry for me. Better cut that shit out. You don't think I know how crazy that sounds? Especially when I say that my mom was raped by a secret group of people that was founded around the time that the reverse freedom rides happened in 1962. In Manchester, New Hampshire on April 25th, 1975, a young black teenager was raped and impregnated in order for her to give birth to a black and white child. Me. My mother wasn't just randomly raped. All that extra schooling was to train me and condition. They were having girls raped and the kids programmed from 2 years old to 14, just like I was, just so we could fit into their agenda. But when I was 14 and I refused to write and create songs with all that weird shit, that's when my closest family and loved ones started dying under suspicious circumstances. Sounds nuts, but where's the lie? Now, that's me on the left, and that's my brother Daniel on the right. Thing is, we're days apart, same age. But my mom got raped on the East Coast and his on the West. Our dad had to have raped them both within days, if not the same day. When I finally called to tell him that I was his brother, conveniently, he died just days before. Heart complications. My ass. Something just doesn't add up. This happened with my sister Solange right before I met her. She died. And then a year after that, my mom died. This shit is fucking nuts, but I guess I'm just tripping. Six to 9. Grandmother got my mom an apartment so she can actually be a mom with me. And, you know, we stayed in Manchester until I was about 2. And then we were walking down the street and a group of dudes were walking behind us. You know, the policeman drove up, whatever. They kind of turned around. They all turned around and started talking to him or whoever. Him, her, both of them. So she took that opportunity to pick me up. And, you know what I'm saying, we lived right around the corner. And she ran to the house. And then she called my grandmother on that phone. And my grandmother got us out of there and went to New Orleans, where we weren't supposed to go. But I guess anything was better than being there.
Girls, it was so inspiring.